Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Suspenders Unbuttoned podcast. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Julie, and we're excited to welcome Niall Matter, actor, to the podcast. Welcome, Niall.
Thank you very much. Hi, everybody.
Hi. It's so fun to have you here to talk all about We Met in December, which is your new Christmas movie airing on the Hallmark Channel on Thanksgiving.
That's right, Thanksgiving night.
Yeah, so that's a big day. Tell us a little bit about the movie. It's a little bit different than we're used to, the way a story is told. So tell us a little bit about your movie and your character.
Yeah, so We Met in December is definitely going to be different than what we're used to seeing in the Hallmark Christmas movies. This movie, the majority of it is done in flashback, I would say. So you get a glimpse into a budding relationship at the beginning of the movie, and then as the movie unfolds, you see why these two people need to find each other, because their connection that they made during a layover, an unexpected layover, is undeniable, and they need to find each other, and that's the fun journey that we go through in this movie. My character's Dave Weeks, and he stumbles upon Annie, played by Autumn, and they wind up having this magical evening at this stunning hotel during a layover, and could be love at first sight. I don't know. You'll have to watch. We'll see.
Could be. You never know what's going to happen in a Hallmark Christmas movie, right? So this is kind of fun, and Dave's a professional, and so is Annie. It's a bit of a twist on the story that's written, instead of like big city girl, small town guy. What do you like about that? They're both
technically they're both big city professionals. Both of them. They're both big city professionals, and no one's asking the other one to give up something for them in order, you know what I mean, in order to like become a prince or a princess of the place that they're from. There's none of that. There's really no there's no huge grand gestures in this movie. It's the thing that I liked about this is it's so rooted in realism. It feels like this could happen to anybody, and that's what drew me to it, because that's kind of how I met my wife. I knew the day I met my wife in person, I fell in love that the moment I laid eyes on her, and it hasn't changed. So this movie, it deals with that exact same idea, and that's when I read it, I was like, I know this is possible. I'm living it.
Right.
I love that kind of Hallmark connection in your personal life too. But it is really fun to see these two professionals, and nobody's giving up their life, but they really are supporting each other.
Yes, they're supporting each other, and they're helping each other unlock, chasing their other aspirations and dreams, which is important. I think, a lot of us would get into professions, and there's something else that we also loved to do alongside that profession, but maybe we didn't have the opportunity, or maybe we weren't brave enough to pursue it without somebody else, championing you along the way. And these two they fulfill that for each other. So it's a beautiful relationship, and it's the thing that's magical about it is it happens in one night. It's one night. So there's a lot that they uncover in one night together.
Right. So we know it happens in one night, and it's not a typical way to tell one of these, Christmas love stories. So was that a challenge to show? I mean, we get these flashback scenes, but I think, I could be wrong, but you might be in not a lot of scenes together actually in the scheme of the entire movie. So did that make it more of a challenge to kind of play this story out, or did you find that really fun?
No, it really did. That actually is exactly what we talked about before we went to camera, because it was vital that in the scenes that we did have together, it made sense for the audience to care. So whatever happened between those two, it had to be palpable, undeniable, and electric. So every single scene that we tackled together, after the initial meet, the meet cute happens, we really had to dig in and find that. Otherwise, I don't think that the movie would have worked out unless you had all of those elements in those scenes. And luckily, working with Autumn, it was so seamless. It was so easy. We shared we actually shared this great connection last year at the Kansas City Hallmark Christmas
Yeah.
experience. It's the first time I've had the chance to talk to her. Obviously, we've seen each other at events and we've said hi, but we found ourselves entrenched in a conversation. I think we were about 45 minutes to an hour long. And then one of our Hallmark execs, Bart Fisher, he interrupted and said, and from across the room, he said, "Excuse me, Autumn, Niall." We both turned and looked, and he's like, "Have you guys ever done a movie together?" And both of us were like, "No." And he goes, "Well, I see something happening here." So I think that might have been the beginning of We Met in December. It really was the early beginnings of that movie. And that was last year at Kansas City.
Yeah, almost exactly a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that connection, being part of it. This movie's written by Nina Weinman and just has this wonderful storytelling way to us. Tell us about what you thought of this when you first read your script.
Yeah, Nina had to really thread a lot, and because what this movie does is the scenes that you see with us outside of the scenes together, there's like a thread, there's a line or there's a memory, there's something that happens in that scene that takes you back to that night, the night that they met, the night, you know what I mean? And so Nina had to really know what could and could not be removed from the script and have it still work, because when you're shooting these things, you get into a time crunch and you have to figure things out like on the fly. What do we need? What has to stay? And in this particular movie, everything had to stay, because all those threads, if you pulled a thread, the whole thing fell apart. So it was very challenging in regards to that, but Nina wrote it so perfectly that I feel like when I watched it, everything just flowed seamlessly, and those transitions work really well. Jonathan Wright, our director, worked day in, day out. Like, he never tired of finding those connections and finding those moments, right? Yeah, and Jonathan Wright and I are really good friends, so working with him again was incredible, and seeing him use all of Nina's threads and like tirelessly making that attempt to connect this and not having it become stale or the same beat was really unique to see him do that on set.
Yeah, that's interesting because we often talk with people that are creating these movies for us, and they talk about, okay, we're going to have to switch this around and take this scene out, and maybe we have to fill it with this scene. So you couldn't really do that, it sounds like, with this script in this movie. So when you watched it back, was it exactly how you filmed it, or were there
No, there's when I watched it back, it's not exactly as it was filmed. Like, they can shuffle things around, but as long as all the pieces are there, it still works. There unfortunately, with like making any movie, there's a lot of moments that we don't get to see. But that's all time constraint issues, and those are hard decisions to make, and those decisions are made by the execs of the network. But I still though, when I saw the movie, I'm really pleased with how it turned out. Yeah.
Right. So, what is it about that this story that drew you to this project?
What drew me to this? Oh, sorry, my manager's calling. I'll just hang that up. What drew me to this project was, like I said previously, it was that connection to my personal life.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm actually living and breathing a situation, in my personal life that these two characters go through in this movie. And I know I had that talk with Autumn in Kansas City, and then I talked with her again because we filmed this in Ottawa. So when I sat down with her in Ottawa, I brought that up with her again, and that was kind of my underlying inspiration and how I tackled this character. And that moment when Dave meets Annie, I needed to be distracted a little bit, but then once he connects, like you can see the moment. You can see the moment where he's like, "Hang on a second," and right from there, she had him.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that there's this little bit of mystery throughout the entire film too. It just kind of brings something special and fun. Do you have a favorite scene that viewers should look for? Or, I mean, you just talked about that little meet cute and how just that one small look and we can know like that's when Dave was gone for Annie. So is there another moment like that that you could tease?
Oh, there's absolutely a moment like that that I know everybody. Well, I hope everybody is going to enjoy, because I know filming it, it was, when you film something like this scene, you hope that it has the impact that it had on the day of filming. And all I can say is the audience members will know when they see it. Hopefully, you will know when you know. Yeah. I can't say anything else about
I
it.
want to ask, but I
You've
can't.
seen it, so you probably know what I'm talking about.
You'll know when
Maybe,
you
but I
know.
don't want to say it.
Um, I love this. So this movie is premiering on Thanksgiving Day. What makes this movie the perfect Thanksgiving Day premiere movie?
I think this movie, I love that the air date is Thanksgiving Day and it's Thanksgiving evening after everybody's been together with their family. They've enjoyed their time together. They get to all hang out, hit the couch, cozy in and just watch two people, fall in love in a very realistic manner. I think it's extremely relatable, this movie, and I think it will, if there's people out there that might be doubting that this is possible or that this exists, maybe we can get some believers, afterwards, because like it is possible. I know it's possible, and it's something that everybody watching at home could see themselves in that situation, and that's what I love about this. There's no like accidental like a royalty or anything. Like
Right.
there's no, it's a movie that could happen to any of us, especially in a negative or a bad situation like a layover. That can be very frustrating. We've all been there, especially during the holidays. So I think, sometimes we just have to keep our eyes open even in those situations, because you never know what could come out of that kind of situation.
Right. I mean, there's a reason why these TikToks go viral where somebody's like, I met this person on the bus. Does anybody know who it is or how to reach them or.
I love that, and that's exactly what happens in this movie. Like there is that,
Yeah.
there is that, right? And these two characters try every avenue, and they try to remember what the other person said about their Christmas and their Christmas traditions, and it's Christmas that has to bring them together because that's all that they talked about. They were consumed and entrenched in this conversation about their Christmases because Dave is on a mission to make his Christmas for his mom and his sister incredible, because in this movie they're dealing with the loss of his father. So this is the first year without their father, and Dave wants to step in and take on that role of creating an amazing Christmas. So he starts talking to Annie about that, and in that conversation Annie and him discover a lot about each other without even really thinking about it or hanging a lantern on it. But that's what they have to go back to in order to find each other.
I really love that this movie felt very equal. So, like, we got to learn about Dave just as much as we got to learn about Annie and, like, what their life is like and, like, their things that they were going through. Just like you had mentioned, Dave is trying to help his family have, like, the best Christmas ever. So that's something else we don't often get to see when we're watching a Hallmark Christmas movie. So I really loved that. And we know that sequels and trilogies are like this big trending thing right now in the Hallmark world. Could you ever see Dave and Annie's story, maybe next Christmas continuing?
That's what all of us would hope for, is to always have, some of these stories continue. I think we all hope for that. I would absolutely be interested in revisiting that, especially working opposite Autumn again. I really loved working opposite her. It was an incredible adventure together. That would be something that I would absolutely take on. That'd be great.
So tell us about maybe a favorite scene that you did together with Autumn.
The favorite scene would go back to the same scene I was talking about earlier.
Everyone.
Yeah. That scene, that scene. It's just, when you film these movies, you always hope to, as an actor, as an artist, get something that's like very fulfilling. And that the scene that I was referring to earlier, like, we left everything on the table in that scene. So when you walk away from it, you're like, okay, Like that was a fantastic experience. If nothing else happened on that movie, that was a fantastic experience. You know what I mean? Because it was very truthful, very honest, and like, yeah, yeah. Like I said, you'll know when you know.
Okay, I want to just shift gears a little bit and tell you how much we enjoyed your character in the Providence Falls trilogy.
Oh yeah, Bale.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that was fun. Tell us a little bit about that. And did you enjoy kind of playing the bad guy?
I loved playing
Wow.
Bale. I mean that's where I come from. Like
Yeah.
that's my background before finding Hallmark. I was always the bad guy. I was always the bad boy. You know, like that's kind of my wheelhouse. So when they sent that to me and I read it, I thought, really, I get a chance to play a guy like this on this network. This is awesome. This is going to be a lot of fun. And I just wanted to have a lot of fun with him, but still have, you know, this seething rage undertone through him the entire time, but make him appear as aloof as possible. You know, and I did a lot of that through body language and body positioning. His voice is different, you know, dropped down, you know, slowed everything down. He was just always in control, and that was really fun to take that guy on. Yeah, I loved Bale. And my mom had a hilarious reaction. She phoned me after watching it, and the first thing she said was, there's my boy.
I love
You know, she raised me. She knows I was a little troublemaker, right? So she's
Yeah.
like, there he is. There he is.
There's
Yeah.
I recognize that one.
there's not
Yeah.
my like Father Christmas guy. There's my
Yeah, she has a hard time believing me as like the Hallmark guys, the good guys. You know, she does. She phones me and she's like, "Nope, you would never do that." And I'm like, "I know, but I'm playing a character." She's very funny.
Oh, that is
But no,
hilarious.
it was very different to be able to get a true kind of bad guy in a Hallmark.
Yeah. It was awesome. It was super fun, and I had to I felt a responsibility to the network to make sure that I still walked the line, you know, within the parameters of the network, and keep the guy likable. Like I had to find a way to play him in a likable way, that was the biggest challenge with Bale.
Yeah.
You know, because I couldn't go too far. You know, and I think just keeping it more aloof and lighter, and I made him very flirtatious with Keegan's character. And Keegan, when we blocked, she looked at me and she was like, "Niall, what are you doing? Are you going to play it like that?" I said, "Of course I'm going to play it like that. Does it make you uncomfortable?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Perfect. I'm going to push you even further." And in the end, we loved it. Like Keegan and I had a great time because we've known each other for 2 decades and never had the chance to work together.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super fun. And because it was, 3 movies to do the whole Providence Fall, it was fun to be able to see Bale, pushing the buttons along for more than just a short period of time. It gives more depth to the storytelling when there's that thing.
Absolutely. I was hoping that we'd see Bale in that final scene, you know, like even just like sulking and walking, just something, you know, because when I watched it, I was like, oh dang, it would have been nice for Bale and Gabriel to have something, just so I could have selfishly worked with Brendan. He's like such a good friend of mine, you know. And when we found out that it was like he was like good and I was evil, I'm like, this is perfect. I hope we have a scene together. We never did. I wish we did. Maybe in the future. That's a role that I would love to play over and over again. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
let's
was
break some
fun.
more.
The Drink on Fire. I think everybody enjoyed that one. So tell us a little bit about how did you go from always playing the bad guy to always playing, the Hallmark
hunk.
punk.
Honestly, I think it took Michelle being familiar with my work, because Michelle and Bill originally brought me into the fold at Hallmark, and Michelle, she's really great at her job, and she knows the actors that are out there, and she knows their range and what they can do, and she's a master at designing, where actors will fit nicely, whether it's in a series or whether they want to slot them into their movies. And So early on, I remember Michelle talking to me, and she said to me, she said flat out, "No, I've always enjoyed your work, and I've been waiting to bring you into the fold. I'm so glad that we got you, and we're never going to let go." I remember her saying that to me, and it meant a lot to me. And because now, I mean, I'm close to a decade long with them, right? I mean, I'm getting up there almost. I think 8 years now. So it's like, and it's been a really great run. It's been fantastic, and it is. They really bring you into the fold, and if you fit in, you're there. You're in, and it's like a big family.
Right.
Yeah, we hear that a lot.
Yeah. And you were not originally an actor when you were working. Is it true? You
No.
went from the working on an oil rig into acting.
Yeah, I grew up on a massive dairy farm, and we had beef cattle as well. And I'm a third generation oil rigger. And at 17, I got kicked out of the house, and I was sent to the rigs with my grandfather. And yeah, I spent 8 years of my life working in the oil field. Yeah, up in northern Canada. Yeah, all over the place. Yep.
How did
Freezing.
you how did you get into acting from that?
Well, when I was younger, before acting began, before the oil rigging began, I started writing and directing at 13.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was obsessed with the horror genre, so I wrote and directed like short horror films. That's what got me into it. And then at 17, I think I had made 7 short films by that point in time, and I had got in front of the camera in 3 of them. So I kind of discovered my ability to act, accidentally, because I didn't have enough actors in my hometown. I'm from a really small town. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, and there just wasn't many people that were interested in it. So I got in front of the camera by accident, really, and I had a drama teacher, bring me into the fold in drama, and so I tried my hand there. But I learned really quickly, like I like theater, but I'm much more of a film and TV guy. Because I don't tend to have the projection that a lot of the theater actors have. I'm a lot more introspective and quiet, and I like to bring the camera to me, and that's what I did with Bale. Like with Bale, I like to bring you into him, bring and have him go quiet, and that brings the audience in. It creates something. I like creating that relationship between the lens and the character, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
I love that answer.
yeah. So did you just like walk off the oil fields one day and just start going to look for acting?
No, I was actually, I would work night shift. I'd film all night, and then I would fly into Vancouver because I was in Canada. So I would fly into Vancouver. I would audition during the day, and then I would fly back and work night shift all night, 12 hours. So I would stay awake for sometimes 36 hours.
Oh, jeez.
Trying to break in as an actor. Obviously, I never booked any of those auditions. There's probably like just shy of 1,000. I'm not even exaggerating. Just trying and never landing anything, never booking. But I mean, I was probably exhausted half the time, looking like death, and that's just not your best foot forward, right? But I had an accident. I was crushed inside the cab of a rig when I was 25. They had to airlift me out, and by the time I came to, like I was in the hospital, they were talking about maybe amputating my right leg, and it was pretty scary. There was a lot. It was a lot to kind of go through at that age, and luckily, obviously I have my leg. It took me a long time to learn to walk again. And when I went back to the rigs, I witnessed another really horrific accident. First day back, a gentleman lost his legs, like completely. And I turned to my brother, who I was out there to relieve at the time, and I just told him, I said, I can't stay here. I need to go back to Vancouver and find another job. I need to pursue my dream and actually try to break into acting. So I went back to Vancouver and just struggled to get a job. Could not get a job. I'm an oil rigger. What qualifications did I have? I had nothing. So I fudged my resume a little bit. Got into a really high-end restaurant bartending. Had no idea what I was doing. I just went up the drink syllabus. And a month into doing that, I had an audition for a series out in Toronto. for a Coke addicted bartender, and I booked it. And ever since then, it's knock on wood. I've been an actor ever since. So that's 2 weeks before my 26th birthday. And interestingly enough, I gave myself that timeline. When I started out, I told myself, if I don't book anything by the time I'm 26, I'm walking away. So 2 weeks before my 26th birthday, I booked my first job.
And you did it.
Yeah, and you've never walked away.
I've never walked away.
No, that's amazing. A little bartender experience, and then you book the job. First, you turned yourself into a bartender job, and in restaurant, right? Yep. And then you have bartending experience, and that was the extra thing you needed.
That's the extra push I needed. Yep.
Yeah, that's great. I remember talking with Andrew Walker, years ago, and at this point, and he kind of said he gave himself a timeline too, and like he had to. I think it was Andrew. Julie, correct me if I'm wrong. So I think that's really neat. I think it's a great kind of tactic. Like you push yourself and give yourself to this time, and it ends up working out. Right, it comes true.
Well, you hope so. I think this profession requires a lot of perseverance.
Yeah.
And I admire anybody that's been in this profession for a long time, because I know the amount of perseverance it's taken them to stay in it. And nothing's guaranteed. Literally, as soon as our job is done, we don't know when the next one is. We have no idea. It's a very precarious profession to try to take on, especially if you want to have a family, like Andrew and I both do. Now, but in our younger days, you don't really think about that.
Right.
But the pressure that gets put on your back when you become a father, husband first of all, and then a father, it's a lot. So very grateful and thankful to find myself employed as much as I have been with Hallmark. It's been a very fruitful relationship for myself and my family.
Is there a genre that you haven't done that maybe you would like to do, either write, or you mentioned directing earlier, or starring in?
I love, I'm such a thrill seeker. I would love to do action stuff. Even like when I was filming the Aurora movies, if I got to run, I was running full tilt. And Martin Wood would be like, Niall, it's not an action movie. Hey, Tom Cruise, take it down. And I'm like, no, Martin, if I'm running, man. I need to run. So I love that because of the physical aspect of it. I would love to be in the action genre before I get too old. I'm getting there. I don't want to. I want to do that. A little bit. That'd be awesome.
That would be fun. We need like a Hallmark action movie.
That would be very cool. I think we should.
We've had to have an action movie, or even like a buddies movie. We had the Three Wiser Men for a Christmas movie, but how about a buddies movie too?
I agree, and you know what? I'm glad you brought that movie up. Because when I saw the Three Wise Men, I don't sit down and watch very many of the movies all the way through. Like, I've got friends in them, so I'll catch scenes here and there because it's on in the background. But I specifically sat down to watch Three Wise Men because I wanted to see how they pulled it off. And I love that movie. I remember when I ran into Paul, I said to him, Paul, that was brilliant. What you did was brilliant. It's exactly what was needed without knowing it was needed. And it really was. Those three guys, Paul, Andrew, and Tyler, were phenomenal together. It was just brilliant. It was brilliant all around. And luckily they've done 3 movies now, and they deserve that. They were really great.
Yeah, they were fun. I really enjoyed the third one. The Wiser Men. Yeah. Wisest Men.
Wisest.
The wisest. Yeah.
Yeah, wise, wiser, wisest.
Yeah. I think that
What's
was
next?
of the bunch.
I think they said that's it, they are done. I think
that's it? Yeah, that's a shame.
Wisest is the farthest.
The 3 of them were great together. Yeah.
Now we need room for others to come through, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
But okay, so back to we met in December. We talked a little bit about your favorite moment that we can't say. Did you have a favorite location to film in? I know They
That hotel.
most
That hotel was the Fairmont in Ottawa. It's right beside the Parliament buildings as well. Just filming in a location like that, it just requires very little acting because you're in such a majestic space with so much history. The hallways, like the way they used to build these structures. I mean, those hallways are like 15 feet wide in these buildings. It's crazy. You know, you look at that and you're like, why did they build it this way? I don't know why, but it's gorgeous. It's
Yeah.
so ornate. You know, every single space you walk into that hotel is just, it's jaw dropping. It's gorgeous, beautiful. So that location is by far my favorite.
Does that help you move into character or that moment that they're having to? And
100%. And there's like, you know, there's I guess there is like a there's a grand piano in the movie.
yeah.
You know, and there is it's a really cute scene too, which Nina wrote that movie was injected, or sorry, that scene was injected into the movie a week before filming.
Oh.
And I don't play piano, so I kind of panicked. I was like, whoa, hang on, like I don't actually play. You know, it's movie magic, you know, and luckily they cut the piano stuff short, but it works really well. Just the lead up to them having just a really private, sweet moment, but walking into that ballroom. Oh wow! Like the very, very little acting involved when you're in a space like that. You know what? Favorite scene? Yes. Like other favorite scene, like second favorite scene is right before that and this guy was phenomenal, so funny. The hotel staff.
Yeah.
That scene is. I love that scene. I love it.
That was fun. It brought a nice moment for
Of levity, which was needed. You know, a little bit of levity, someone panicking, you know, and I love that I love that they took into account, like, okay, if these characters are going to be decorating a tree, why? You know, they made it real. There was a reason behind it. You know, it's because this guy is completely floundering around and he genuinely needed help. You know, and he was brilliant. Played it so well.
Yeah, he was funny.
no, those are fun moments, and I love how this film goes from levity to some beautiful conversations. But there's something magical about this storyline that makes it feel timeless. Do you think that this movie will be one of those that's repeatedly aired in the years that come forward?
I hope so, because I feel like this movie is like right along the lines of Serendipity.
Yeah.
You know, and Serendipity is the type of movie that you can watch every year.
Right.
You know, like it's just one of those movies, and I hope that this movie winds up being timeless for them, and it's something that they are proud to re-air. You know, during the holidays. I know Autumn and I are both very proud of it. I'm not sure if you guys have had a chance to chat with Autumn yet. But we had a really great time filming it, and we hope that the audience loves it.
I really do think they will. How long were you guys in the hotel shooting? Like, how many days of the shoot was that?
That was 1 week.
That was 1 week. Okay.
Yeah, so 1 week total of the shoot was at that hotel. Yeah, which was tricky too, because we had to go there really, really early because the hotel was still operating.
Right.
Like, it was an operating hotel, so the only way they allow that to happen at the front lobby type thing is if you're there extremely early. So our days started very, very early. We would get in, and I think we had to be off that location by 7:30 a.m.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
Yep. So like the one day we tried to fit it, we couldn't fit it, so we had to return there the next morning and then finish the scene up. I think we got through the master, Autumn's coverage, and then my coverage had to wait until the next day. And there were a couple moments like that, but that's filmmaking, you know. And then you got to find that exact energy that you were in the day before. You know, that's the magic, and that's the art of film and TV acting.
Right. Okay, so what are you hoping that people will take away from this when they watch it?
I'm hoping that people feel inspiration, that if they haven't found true love, that it's out there. I'm hoping that the takeaway for people is that it's possible, it exists, and the lead actor that's in the movie is living it personally in his everyday life. So I can stand behind that statement 100%.
That feels like the best sales pitch ever for a Hallmark Christmas movie, honestly.
Right. Like, you see all those, like, spoofs, or, not spoof isn't the word, but everybody's
Like parodies?
parodies of, these movies. Like, last year I moved from the big city to the Christmas
Yes.
tree farm. But this
Yes.
one, like you said, it feels real, and then to
Yeah.
know that you're actually living this out, it's a
Totally.
beautiful thing. I think it gives it a little bit more meaning. Niall, we love to play a fake game with our guests. Are you interested in playing a favorites game with us?
A favorite game?
Do you have a holiday movie?
Serendipity.
Oh, love it. Do you have a favorite holiday tradition?
Just going home and be with my family in Alberta.
Yeah, I love that.
Love it. And what about a favorite holiday song?
Favorite holiday song? No, my gosh. No, I don't. I would say maybe the one from The Grinch. The new one.
Oh, the new one. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to find that one. What about, like, if you could put a holiday song with We Met in December, what would you, like, match it with?
Bublé's voice. Something with Bublé. Something like a
yeah,
Bublé.
no, that feels...
Right? Right? Something with
When
Michael
you, like,
Bublé.
at the piano in the...
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that feels really good.
That does feel perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
Love it.
do you have a favorite holiday food?
I love eggnog. So it's not really a food. It's a drink.
No, like-
but I love eggnog, but I have to take it easy on the nog. I don't drink, but just because the calories. I mean, it gets you. Yeah, I love eggnog. I love it. And I love turkey. But if it's brined.
Yes.
I did a turkey once, and I brined it finally.
Yeah.
It changed my life.
Moist, it's delicious.
And that reminds me of Holiday Hotline.
Yeah.
That movie about turkey. Because I had this discussion on that set, and I said, guys, if you have never brined your turkey, brine your turkey. It's amazing.
We always brine our turkeys.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So brine your turkey and then
Yep.
eat it, and then watch We Met in December.
And have some eggnog. And you know what? Go crazy. Have some spiked eggnog. Go for it.
Yeah. Spike it a little bit. Well, this has been really fun. We appreciate you taking some time out of your busy day to spend with us.
Thank you so much. And again, I'm so sorry I'm late. Thank you for having me. This was
No
great.
problem.
I hope to do it again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for watching or listening. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.